Riding Freedom by Pam Munoz Ryan, selection illustrated by Mark Scott. In the mid 1800s, when most girls are not allowed to have paid jobs, Charlotte Parkhurst disguises herself as a boy in order to work with horses. She goes by the name of Charlie and keeps her true identity a secret. Years later, Charlie moves from Rhode Island to an area near Sacramento, California. There, she and her friends, James and Frank, drive horse drawn stagecoaches for a living. Suddenly, a bad accident leaves Charlotte partially blind. Now, with only one good eye left, Charlotte must relearn how to drive a coach. The next day, she overturned the coach completely, but was able to jump free. What was she doing wrong? She knew how to drive a team. She didn't need training with the horses or the ribbons. She knew those things by heart. It was her eye she didn't know. She needed to train her one good eye. She needed to learn how to use it all over again. She started taking a smaller team out every day. First, a 2-horse team, then a 4, finally, with 6 in the hand. Charlotte had been proving herself her whole life, and she wasn't about to stop now. She didn't even care if Frank and James caught on to what she was doing. They might as well see me trying, she thought. She learned the different sounds the horses' hooves made on different types of roads. If the road was hard, the hooves made a hollow, clopping sound. If the road was soft, the hooves made a dull, thudding sound. She relied on her one good eye to take over for the other. She trusted her senses, and the sixth sense she had for handling horses. Charlotte drove back and forth over her route and memorized every rock and tree. She set a goal for herself. If she made 10 clean round-trip runs, she'd know she was as good as the next driver. After that, she'd just have Frank and James to convince. After the 10th clean run, Charlotte went to James. "I want to drive the stage run over the river." "Now, Charlie, we've been over all that. Me and Frank think you ride with me, and if you don't think I'm fit, then I won't bother you again," said Charlotte. "What will the passengers say about your eye patch?" said James. "Just tell them it's to frighten off bandits. They won't know any different." "I don't know." Charlotte defended herself. "You know my reputation. I traveled all this way. Riding coaches is the whole reason I came to California, and I came because you asked me to come. You know I've been practicing. Go by my past driving. That's all I'm asking, and I wouldn't be asking if I didn't know I could drive." Reluctantly, James said, "The first sign that you can't handle the situation, I take the reins. I'll tell you if I need help. Don't go stepping in unless I ask." "Fair enough," said James. "Tomorrow?" "Tomorrow, if the weather holds." "I ain't going to be a fair weather driver," said Charlotte. "I want to drive, same as usual, like all the other drivers." "Well, I guess you deserve that much. Tomorrow, rain or shine." It was one of those storms where the rain came down in wash tubs, but the stage was scheduled to go. The coach was chock full of passengers, baggage, and mail pouches that had to get through. Charlotte was soaked clear through by the time the baggage was secured. James rode shotgun next to her. The wind wouldn't let up, and the rain came flying in every which direction. James seemed nervous. "Charlie, I can't even see the road," he yelled. "Then it's a good thing I'm driving, 'cause I can smell it, and I can hear it," yelled Charlotte. James sat back as the coach headed into the storm. The mud was so thick it reached the hubs, but Charlotte still found the road. When they reached the river, it had swelled almost to the bridge supports. Charlotte stopped the stage on the north bank. "Stay inside," she told the passengers. "I'll be checking the bridge." Charlotte took off her gloves and carefully walked across the swaying timbers to see if the bridge was worthy. She stopped a few times and listened to the moans of the wood. She felt the swollen planks and pulled on the guard ropes until she was satisfied. She walked back to the stage and told the passengers to get out. "Ain't no reason to risk your lives," said Charlotte. "James, I'm going to walk you and these fine people over to the other side to wait for me there." But a portly gentleman refused to budge. "I'll take my chances inside the coach," he said. "Not on my coach," said Charlotte. I'm familiar with adventure, young man, he argued. The bridge can't take any extra weight, and I'm not about to lose my first passenger to that river. Now step out, or I'll help you step out. Still grumbling, the man reluctantly climbed down. In the blinding rain, Charlotte escorted the group, a few at a time, across the bridge. When they were safely settled on the other side, she walked back for the stage. She got back in the box. Thunder growled nearby. She knew what was coming next. She held tight to the ribbons and waited for the lightning. It hit within a mile, but she kept the horses reined. Trusting her instincts, she inched the horses and the stage across the bridge. The timbers groaned as the iron-capped wheels clacked across the wooden planks. Ahead, the passengers huddled together and watched anxiously from the other side. The river raced a few feet beneath the wheels. The bridge rocked and the horses reared and whinnied. The coach was smack in the middle of the bridge. Charlotte kept her sights on the far bank. She heard the splintering and the cracking of weathered wood. That meant the bridge was coming apart. She stood up in the box. Keep them straight on the bridge, Charlotte. Dashing the water from her good eye and gathering the reins in a firm grip, she cracked the whip and yelled, "Away!" She was thrown back into the box. The horses jibbed, the side to side, but she held tight to the ribbons. They flew across like scared jackrabbits. The back wheels barely turned on solid ground when the bridge collapsed and dropped into the churning river. "Whoa, my beauties, whoa!" yelled Charlotte. The passengers hurried back to the stage, clamoring about the excitement, while Charlotte settled the team. "We could have all fallen in," one woman gasped. "My heart's a pounding," a man exclaimed as others joined him. "We would have drowned." "He saved my life," said the gentleman who had almost refused to leave the coach. And by the way they were talking, and James was nodding his head, Charlotte knew there wouldn't be a question about her driving a stage again.